All right, what's going on, fam? Everybody doing good in the neighborhood? What's going on around here? Welcome into a Rose Bowl edition of Locker Room Sports Talk, where we come in here and break it down and tell you all about it. Um, yeah, let's see here. 38-3, of course, final here for the day. Mendoza throws for 192, 3 touchdowns. He takes care of the football with no interceptions, which is good on the day for them. They rushed for over 200 yards. About That's about normal for them. They've been at the 175, 150, one. I think they had 180 or 200 yards. Usually, I think they had about the same against Oregon and Iowa. And Iowa's a pretty good football team. I think Iowa, after watching Iowa play this weekend, they reminded me a lot of Bama. I think Alabama and Iowa would have been it'd been a better game. Obviously, Bama only been able to come up with a field goal. They take care of the football, and those are good things. And when you can block up front and find your keys and your assignments as an offensive line and what Indiana is good at, obviously they got a good offensive line coach, teaches the guys how to crawl the next level because winning the line of scrimmage is where the games are won. I mean, we all know that. If anybody watches football, boy, don't you know anything on, we're dog trenches where it's won it. Ty turns the ball over. He's out there on the struggle bus, and he's just trying to make something happen for his team. He's a good teammate. He's a good clean pocket thrower, which, I mean, who's not a good clean pocket thrower? I mean, I guess any of us on here could be clean pocket throwers. They won it receiving. Bernard led the team with 60. Ryan Williams showed up today. That first almost had an interception. Appreciate Ryan coming back for the ball and knocking it away, playing some defense. He had 53 yards today, 26 long. It's good to see the young guys stepping up and playing some. Cuevas had 4 catches for 30 yards or so. Now the rushing attack was still about normal. I think they had 23 was it 23 we ended up with in the SEC title game against Georgia. So that seems about normal. And Ty throwed for right at 100 yards. He didn't throw a pick today. Bama comes up with three good sacks. Key parts of the game there. In the first quarter, game was pretty interesting. And Indiana gets 3 sacks on Bama, so they kind of split on that take. So that's kind of stats, kind of what happened. Time of possession, let's see what it wound up being. 34 to 25. So Indiana kept the ball about 10 more minutes, which that's kind of what you would expect. Third down efficiency at Bama was 3 for 11, which is about what they was the last couple of games. Guys, this is still the same team. It just is. Indiana just wound up with the ball on short fields a couple of times, especially I think when Bama going for it there on that 4th down and run that stupid play or try to get Jeremy around the end. And I just don't think that's the play you call against them. I would have probably would have run Hill, just run right at them or something, 9 for 14 for them on 3rd down, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. They didn't have no 4th down conversions. Bama was 0 for 2 on 4th downs. One of them was late. Mack had done come into the game, which he looks okay. I mean, some of his decision making was not quite there perfectly, but I guess you get dumped in a Rose Bowl game playing a number 1 team in the country. That's kind of what happens, So finally, 193 to 400 yards, total yards there. Now we can get to some of the brass tacks of the matter. What's up, Jeff? I guess the brass tacks of the matter are, did I think Alabama could win? I had doubts, but I did pick them to win. I had them in like a 27-24, kind of a close game. I think some of those later points probably were just kind of give me points a little bit, but it's straight up. They're honestly 3 touchdowns better on the starters of Alabama. Indiana's 20 points better. I mean, they just are. So here's the thing you got to do first. When teams like that, just kind of put together, and the coach is kind of a smart ass, and he's a Yankee, and that's just how he is. That's just his personality. If people don't like him, that's fine. A lot of people don't like Nick Saban either. So that's, just is what it is. I just don't really care for the guy. But, that's okay. I didn't really like Hugh Freeze, really. I don't really care for him or just, not a big fan of him. So there's just coaches you can just kind of not like, and that kind of stuff. But the matters of facts are, again, congrats to Indiana for being prepared, being ready, and showing up today and feeling like they had something to prove. Hey, look, we're number one, and we're here for a reason. And to think of it any other way is, just kind of asinine to think that. So there's no reason at all for Bama to, I guess, hang their head, down in a little bit of shame, sure. But I'd have to say that hang on, I'm sharing this over on. I'd have to say that 11 wins. What are you going to do? He had a good season. And, of course, there's going to be people. That bus is going to get started up. It's already cranking out in the parking lot at Pasadena. Put DeBoer on the bus. That's something. He can't coach a football game. He got out-coached. He did get out-coached today. And the problem always has to lie on the head coach. When you lose a game like that, and he's going to tell in his press conference, he's probably going to say something like this. I believed in this team, and I put us out there, and we were not the better team today. And honestly, on a side note, just me personally, if these guys played 5 times, I probably would think Indiana would probably win 4 of the 5. I mean, just being honest. So I posted a remark over here on the page that the handing of the guard has changed. And this is kind of – it's not a complete meltdown. And there's going to be people – so I'm going to tell you right now, on the media, here's what you're going to hear all week. It's totally changed. You can take a transfer team and put them all, bring them from the portal and bring them in. You can go on and get in the playoffs and win games. Well, hang on. Yes, okay, but still, Alabama was not a championship team. I didn't – I mean, a first-year starter, I didn't pick them to win it. I think we picked Ohio State or Georgia in the summer. We make our two early stupid picks. And I liked how Georgia, I think their team with Gunner coming back, and Kirby's going to develop defense. I like them, and probably Ohio State. So Ohio State's out. They got a shellacking from Miami. So congrats to them. Miami showing up and beating Ohio State and beating the champs. Taking them out just completely controlled the line of scrimmage, and Miami's defense was what I said in those notes that I come on here just the other day, and I broke it down and told you why Miami could win the game, and that's why they won the game. So the changing of the guard, yes, and it's kind of ironic that Bama to hand over part of the crown jewel, a jewel out of the crown or out of their glove, to say, hey, welcome. We were a team 100 years ago that nobody believed in. Alabama didn't even get invited, firstly, to the Rose Bowl. 100 years ago, it all started for Alabama. Tulane was actually invited to go play Washington. They were the favorite to win. They pulled out, and Alabama was then said, well, we'll take Alabama. So Alabama goes out there, and they're like, well, there's no way they beat Washington. They showed up 100 years ago, and they beat Washington. And some of the tradition and things and national championships to roll on through, having undefeated seasons and winning the Rose Bowls, and the newspapers, crowning them national champions through not being on probation and being undefeated and winning some of those. I think they got about 4 of those games back then in the 20s and mid-30s that they claim from Writers Association. So it is kind of cool. It's kind of ironic how it kind of – here's – your little crown, Indiana, your second Rose Bowl. You come out here, first time, none of those players, probably their parents wasn't even born. Probably their grandparents were young. And, hey, welcome to the game of college football. And like I said, I can say it again 100 times. They look ready. They were prepared. And adjusting on the fly, I think in games is keys to victory. And that first quarter, Bama come out and was playing lights out defense. They were getting out the quarter. I mean, the first couple of plays, they put him on the ground. Hold up, hit the brakes. What happened? They stopped the bus and said, everybody get off, Indiana. Coach Sig said, y'all get off. This ain't the kind of style of football we're playing today. Goes the offensive line coach, hey, it stops right now. Fix it. And they did. They adjusted. So that's what good football teams do. I've seen it live on sidelines of high school games. Good coaches just on the fly can fix things. Now, no excuses. And some people are just kind of dim in the head a little bit, and they just say things just to be funny. Ha. That, with Indiana having 26 seniors and Alabama having 10, those are excuses. Excuses would be like how teams cry about the refs cheating and not calling pass interferences and rigging the game and taking touchdowns off when you could clearly see that they got in and it really wasn't a fumble, it was a touchdown. Those are excuses. It's not an excuse to state a fact that they have 26 seniors in Indiana. Bama has 10. That's a difference. And when you're playing with 24, 25-year-old men that's played a lot of football, and a lot of his guys he brought with him from James Madison, they're older guys. There were juniors and seniors coming over, some of them to get a last year, some of them to get an extra year to come over to Indiana and play. And they're experienced. They've played with him. They know his style of offense and what he likes to run. And they found a quarterback that could just deliver the ball on time, not turn it over a ton. He's thrown a pick in about every tough game that they played. And today not being one of their tough games, obviously 38-3, that wasn't a very tough game. But it's just what we have now. So first topic today, it says the new age, and that's it. The new age of football is you can take some transfer kids to come with you from your old school that knows you and knows your play style. Hence, that's kind of where Auburn is at. But the difference with Auburn is, well, Matt Golis can just bring these guys in and they could probably play right now and win. Well, maybe. But here's the difference, Auburn fans. The difference with you wanting to repeat what Indiana's done is, one, Auburn, sorry, but you will probably more than likely have the number one toughest schedule in the nation next year, at least one or two. It's insanely hard. Indiana does not. They play about the 40 or 50th strength of schedule. They play unranked teams. They beat Oregon and they beat Illinois while they were ranked, which they looked good against a Tennessee team that had 15 starters out. And they beat Ohio State, which obviously wasn't a big task because Ohio State just got a young quarterback. And we knew going in that their defense wasn't going to be quite as good, and that worried me. For them picking them to repeat kind of worried me a little bit. So the new age of football, to where you can bring in some guys, don't just say, well, you just go to the portal and get you players and just build a team and second year go win a title. That's not what Indiana is. These guys come with him. He's got a lot of players that played with him. They know his system and know his style. Not all of them, no. They did plug in some guys here and there, but a lot of those important guys were people that played with him in Indiana at James Madison. They're older, more mature, played a lot of football, and sometimes experience can just outweigh young talent. Now, so that being the new age thing and kind of where we're at, so these fly-by-night teams is just that. They can come in now. You can get some players to add to your pot and go out here and compete. Now, Indiana hadn't won a national championship, so hold the brakes. Slow down. Don't get too crazy. Now, I know the bus is on fire. The SIG train is loaded, and this is the biggest thing that happened in Indiana since, I don't know, maybe some of their championships in basketball or something. So this is their Super Bowl. Now, as far as Indiana moving on, before we move to Bama staff for this coming up season, where does this, put Indiana? Can they move on from, a shellacking that they put on Bama? Can they crash it, celebrate it tomorrow, 24 hours, boom. Now we got to get ready to go play Oregon again. And it is hard to beat a team twice. And Oregon had them beat. Oregon had Indiana beat that game. I watched the game, highlights of the game nearly twice, most all of it, then again, just to watch line play and that kind of stuff. And Moore just turned the ball over because he's a young quarterback. This league is full of a lot of young quarterbacks, but I don't know. That'll be something we can break into Sunday about picking that game and talking about that. Probably have Diamond Dean come on and talk with us Sunday on the big show. We'll be here at 6 o'clock. So can Indiana sail back down the ground, chill out, and realize that it's a big win because you won your first Rose Bowl. It's a big win because you feel like beating Alabama was your Super Bowl. And I understand the stigmata of that, what that means. But in all reality, SEC fans, we have to remember Bama played for the SEC title and did not win it. Well, really wasn't even close to winning it. They pretty much got their tail whooped. Georgia is the ones representing this conference, and they have been for the past couple of years, right? Yes. So before Big Ten claims, they're just thumping all the SEC, well, maybe so, but we don't know yet because there's still some more football to be played. So can Indiana calm down, get back on ground, and just realize they beat the runner-up in the SEC, which is a great win for them. Them just winning a Rose Bowl, no matter who they kind of beat, is huge for the program. It's going to attract a lot of players. He can go hit the rankings and get some cool portal guys probably for next year because he's losing a good bit. I just told you he had 26 seniors on this Indiana team. So with that being said, this will move us to the next topic to end it up here. And thank y'all for coming by. Hit the thumbs up while you're on here, man. I sure would appreciate it. Just the old thumbs up button there will be great. If Indiana has won a battle, and they did, no doubt, put their head on the board and chop that thing all the way off. Didn't miss once and had to come back and do it again. First chop, off with the whole heads. The elephant head is rolling around in Pasadena, and Indiana can take it back home with them, and that's the way it is. And if you don't like it, then show up and do a better job, coaches and players both. So now with the Indiana staff, does some of their guys start getting snatched up? Like we've seen over through Alabama through the years and years and years, and they'll hire the guy that mops the floors in some of the buildings to find out anything we can get of somebody that just clips the grass at Tuscaloosa when Nick was there just to get a piece of it on their staff. Well, now will this happen to Indiana? So winning this battle, can Indiana build from here as Alabama did from their first Rose Bowl win 100 years ago to now and being 100 years and being a relevant football team? Can Indiana do that for 100 years? Or is this just a fly-by-night team that's going to come in, win some games, play Oregon, lay an egg, and go up there and get beat, and they're out? We don't know. It is hard to beat a team twice, especially how Oregon handled them the first time they played, because it was really close. So Indiana won a battle. Can they win the war and go on a 100-year trend like Alabama did and has been a relevant football team? No, they didn't win it this year, and okay, I get it. And everybody that wants to fire DeBoer, that's stupid. Just shut up. We're not going to have I can't have a legitimate conversation if you're just going to be all feelings, all gas, and no brakes, and not realize that they are not the SEC champs. They're not the ones carrying the torch for the SEC. That would be Georgia. Alabama is right there in the mix with the top teams, and they've got the best recruiting class in the land right now. And for me, I mean, you can go look at the class, and USC's got number one because they got like 40 players. So they just have more quantity. Bama has the best quality recruiting class in the land right now, no doubt. So now last part here, Bama staff for 26, and where does this Bama team go from here? We'll get more into that Sunday. Make sure you come by and hang out with us here live at 6 Central. Stating things that are obvious, like the play calling has no rhythm. There's no urgency for Grubb to seem like he gives a shit about to even try to run the ball. The offensive line coach, I can't pronounce his name really. It looks Polish or Chechnyan or something. I don't know what it is. He should have been gone back. He should have been gone last year. You know, and Bama had this trouble. He hired the guy. He's been here. And our running backs coach has been here for, this will be 6 years that he's been here. Why is he still there? It's a problem. And we've seen Kevin Riley come out and had 1 or 2 plays, and he threw in the ball and he dropped it or something. He's had no rhythm. He ain't played in months because he had a broke jaw. He's been out for a month for that, and he didn't play a month before that because they were on that Jam Miller train. And Jam is just – he can catch the ball in the backfield some for you, and he did pass block pretty well most of the time. He did not today. He got Ty in trouble a couple of times, just absolutely whiffing on guys blitzing straight off the edge, and he would just run and ducked inside. So he don't know the plays. So that kind of stuff, that's how you lose football games. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And so the staff for 26 for Bama, are you looking for some changes? I am. I'm looking to see an offensive line coach and a running back coach. Now, we've talked about and bragged about Derek Nix. Grew up down here, a little south of here in Etowah High School, played at Southern Miss. Great guy. It's a good hire to get him from Auburn. He was part of a big tree at Ole Miss when they had a lot of super great talent over there at Ole Miss. So when Coach Nix being there on scene as the co-offensive coordinator, if Grubb feels like this is not for him, then he can move on. And I wouldn't have a problem with Coach Nix calling plays next year. I'm just telling you straight up. But the offensive line coach and a running back coach has been there since 2020. They got to go. You got to part ways, and you just can't have that kind of play. You got to figure out a run game. But on this side of it, when you go and look at these other games, guys, you go look at other playoff games here that we've seen the past couple of days and other bowl games over this week, nobody's just really running the ball like crazy. Indiana probably got their last 100 of their, 200 yards on a lot of second team DBs at Bama, that just guys that never get to play. They just put them in and let them get ready for next year and get some tape on them and let them see live game and play against the number one team in the land, see how they react. So a lot of teams don't run the ball well. So it's not just Bama. It's just how the game is played now. It's a little more faster, and the run game is just not part of that tempo or speed style of offense now. And it's been going that way for a couple of years, but this year you've really seen it more. And quarterback play is at an all-time low. There's just not really any good quarterbacks out there. There's just not. So, all that to say, yes, there needs to be some staff changes at Bama, and I would really see some coming probably this month and into the spring. There's no spring portal. Portal opens tomorrow, so there's going to be a lot of crap going on tomorrow. So keep your phones on right here on Locker Room Sports and see who's going where and what. We could see a lot of Bama players. Some we got 10 seniors. You could see some juniors jumping out or sophomores maybe that feel like they can move and play. So that for their last year or two or something like that. I think this group seems pretty tight. And if I say that, then you'll have 20 guys in the portal tomorrow. I don't think they're going to have a bunch of guys jump out. You're going to have some guys that want to play, but you're leaving an 11-win team that played in the college football playoffs and made it 2 rounds with a second-year coach and his first-year coordinator that's, figuring out their style and what they have. And DeBoer still don't really have his guys. And we saw how his guys did. Leading receivers on the team, and the dog of the receiver group was Jeremy Bernard. That's DeBoer's guy. He come with him. Brailsford's one of the better linemen on the team most of the time, not always. he come with him too. So we'll see how the quarterback play works out. We got to see a little bit of flashes of Austin Mack today. I like him. He's a big guy. He's hard to bring down, tall, got a big arm, man. He can really rope it. And putting in the right situation, they could be very successful. Now we got a whole winter. Won't be on probably for a month or two. They come on some here and there to talk about there's some recruiting changes or stuff coming in and out. Probably be on talk a little bit about that. But we have a lot of summer. We'll kick back up into usually July, start previewing June, start getting some preseason. Schedules will be more penciled in, and we'll see how this top recruiting class is going to, finish out here after they've signed all these guys. A lot of big-time players. The CD Morgan has come in and practiced with them this week. Monday, Ezekiel Crowell will be on campus with the guys and going into off-season here and start lifting. And look for Crowell to really, really grow. Jackson High School's five-star tailback from 4A, back-to-back state champs. Watched him play personally. So there's those guys and many other more that's going to join this Alabama team for 26. It's going to be good. So again, Bama fans, save me on all the fire DeBoer stuff. I just don't. You can't start a conversation like that and be serious because he's not getting fired. Okay, he's won over 20 games his first 2 years, and there was improvement this year. It's not what you want as a fan because Alabama fans are spoiled and feel like they're supposed to win it every year. Now, right now, you're pissed because you lost. You got your britches pulled down and just absolutely freaking whooped with a garden hose on live TV. And that idea that, Bama is the standard of football, which can be true, but that bell cow of the conference – Georgia's the ACC champs, man. They're the ones carrying the torches, so you need to get behind them. And they're fixing to kick off here in just a minute. We'll go check them out. I think they probably beat Ole Miss. So that's kind of that. Let's hit the peanut gallery. Roll back through here, see what's going on. TriStar, what's up, old Twitter buddy? Ty Simpson was confirmed injured with I think that's been a problem with it for. I don't know. He's been a pretty tough kid. He can only deal with the best offensive line that you got. Some of those situations wouldn't matter if you had Brett Favre back there. If Brett Favre's back there playing with that offensive line, he's not going to be real good. So what does Ole Miss need to do if they're going to beat Georgia? Play good defense. Stay at home. Don't get beat with some big glory plays over the top, and keep Gunnar Stockton wrangled. Don't let him get up there with his feet. And that was another thing. With Ty running the ball, I said keys to victory for Bama would be, and they didn't do this, run a little tempo, speed the game up a little bit. Don't go up there, get set, look at the defense, and then flip your hands out and everybody rearranges. And that shit ain't working. That's just something that looks cool on paper for Grubb. He thinks that's fun or something, like it looks like you're a pro or something. No, it looks like you're a dumbass because the offense looks slow, lethargic. There's no rhythm to the game. Run him first play. I run Ty first play. If you get 4 or 5, then it's second and 5 or 6, like I've said for a month. And then you could try to run the ball. Well, you tailback. And then if you get 2, well, then it's 3rd and 4. I can deal with 3rd and 4. These the Bama was at 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 8, 3rd and 15 sometimes. I don't care who you are, man. You're not going to do much with that. So the game plan did not go as I said it should for them to be successful, because Grubb don't listen to me. So who am I? Ole Miss needs to beat Chambers, which they have. Ole Miss played them good last time. Yeah, can Ole Miss defy the Georgia defense? Mendoza, yep, he sure did. He's from he's a Florida native, and went out there. He's a graduate from Cal. He's already graduated. He's 24, 25 years old and grown, played a lot of football, and he didn't have nothing to do on campus but just watch football film, and that's all he did. So that's what I'm saying. When you got 26 seniors, that's a good key for success. It is. They have a lot of older guys. It is. I mean, you got a lot of experience, man. They've got a lot of guys that are lower tier players, but they played a lot of football. And obviously that weighed in a little higher for everybody because ain't nobody beat them. And to be legit number one, undefeated, as they should be. I mean, if this was Bama, when they did this for years and years and years, for over a decade, Bama was number one a lot of times and undefeated. You say the same thing. They had a lot of seniors those years. They had guys come back, had good offensive line play. They could run the ball. They had some top receivers, and they played good defense. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. And they also have two other quarterbacks. That Jet Tamala came in. I watched him at practice. He's supposed to be the spit, man. He's come from Nebraska. He's a big dog out in the Midwest, and we're going to find out. What's up, Landon? I felt like that they had was Raisel Max. Why not say they covering us? Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked Ty running a little bit more. Yeah, and I don't personally – I don't see 20 guys from Bama jumping in the portal. They didn't lose any last year back in the spring. They lost none. And there could be some guys that feel like they may want to, but he just come off 11-win team that played in the Rose Bowl and lost to the number one team. Wins number 9, beat number 1. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I'll hit the Google search on that. Google that. Yeah, it's been 30 years. Bama ain't took an ass whooping like that. It's been bad. Yep. Yes, Indiana out physical Alabama from pretty much 3/4 of the game. They did. Prepared, yes, I agree. And fundamentally sound, more sound than Alabama was. Well, there has to be fundamentals in how the coaches have coached them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you got to put belt to ass. So I think Bama has still. I think they have a lot of better players than Indiana, but having a lot of good players running around there that are 18, 19, 20 years old, playing against older guys that's played a lot of football, and they're in a system that they understand well. They've played many years, and you got a quarterback you bring in that just does his job. He just delivers it where it needs to be, and he'll scramble around, get you 30, 40 yards a game or so, and he just does his job. Just takes what the defense gives him. I don't think their offense is their problem. I think Ohio State's only problem is just they got a first-year starting quarterback. I don't think there's really anything else other than that wrong with Ohio State. And, well, they lost a bunch of guys on defense, and we knew that was going to bite them. We knew it was going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Ben. I agree. Well, I don't never see Ryan Day calling plays. I've never seen him call play really. He's just on the headset. I ain't seen him with a card or. Yeah, I can go along with some of that, being that he's trying to tell his guys, and look, here's something behind the scenes that I've seen personally. I've been in rooms with coaches, not college, but coaches preparing for games. I've been around some better high school coaches. They know before going into the game amongst themselves privately. I'm just telling you the truth. When the coaches put film on and really watched Indiana, Womack and Grubb and DeBoer, 3, sat in a room and probably said, we'll have to play really mistake free and just try to keep it close. They they execute. Their offensive line executes very well in what they do, extremely well in what they do. I don't know if we could. I don't think we win this game. I'm telling you, amongst ourselves, I've seen coaches. They put on film. They're not stupid. These guys are big time coaches, and I'm telling you, just around high school coaches, they watching the film, man. They're like, we're just outmatched in a lot of specific areas. It'll have to be something special to beat this number one team. We come in number 9 with 2 losses during the regular season, lose the SEC title game, and we're having trouble running the ball. To run the ball helps run the clock, and I just don't know. And maybe I'm saying that to say this, Ben, in that long speech. Sorry, that long-winded example. That 4th and 1 call, I think, was because he decided that he wanted to show his guys, because DeBoer seems like a player coach, and what we've heard from Bernard and Browsford, that he really is. He's a real player kind of coach. He really enjoys the guys. He likes being out there at practice and talking to them and getting on them. That he believed in them. We're going to go for this on 4th and 1, and I think it'll give a needed spark to our offense to let them know that I believe in them and we can go win this game. That's what that call was. I think that's all it was. It was just him trying to tell the guys in his head, he knows we're not winning this game, but I got to show them that I believe in them, because we only got 10 seniors, so we're going to bring back a lot of football players, and we got a huge class coming in next year. We're here. Alabama was not supposed to beat them. They were picked to lose by a touchdown and a half. That's one of the biggest spreads against Bama I've ever heard of. The shock would have been Bama winning. But for a lot of people that just have seen Alabama win so much, it was still going to be a shock to them if Indiana won, because, who is Indiana? Well, this is not the same era of football that Saban coached in. It's different now. The portal has given the availability for players to move around willy-nilly, and he can put some guys together from his system, from this, what he's done, SIG has, and he's put together a football team, and that's what he's got going on. And it paid off. So that 4th and 1 to me, he was just saying, I believe in you players. Let's go out here and let's just see. If Georgia wins, Beck will play against his former – yeah, very much so. And I think that could happen. So let's wrap this up, man. Let's don't stay on here too long. Let's go in here and watch Georgia play a little bit. Thank y'all all for coming by. Ben and Jeff and Landon and Lorenzo Allen. Good to see you on here too. Alabama never was not. Right, yeah. You're right. I'm sorry I missed that one. No, yeah, you're right. I don't know. Some people picked them because of the guys they were bringing back. Jam just was a no-show this year. Got hurt a couple of times. He broke his collarbone. He actually had to play with like some kind of Kevlar sheet in his shoulder plate. There's just stuff like that happens. Bama got beat up a lot this year, and they had enough depth, just enough to limp through a lot of those games and win some games there late. The Georgia game, they were completely out. 7 starters were out on that game, and Georgia had starters out too. And I had said Georgia or Ohio State would be. I thought they would play for it, which I missed on Ohio State. I'd underestimated with Ohio State. I knew that with losing all the running backs there, it was a worse miss for them than I thought it was. I thought they could limp through it a little bit. There's a lot of young quarterbacks in here, man. Beck is the guy. So, no, you're right. Alabama was never a national championship pick. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of the bigger people on the media poll than me had picked Alabama to win it. It's early. We pick teams to win it in the summer, and we're usually not always right. We have been right in the past. Well, I missed Michigan. I didn't see that. I picked Ohio State again. I say this about Ohio State for Jeff. Smith, he is a freaking man. If he ain't favored to win the Heisman next year, I don't know who he is. The absolute freak show. He reminds me how he runs and catches and flexes, his size. He is a Julio Jones style. Big physical guy. Gets up on the horse and runs with those high knees. Smith is a dog up there at Ohio State. And with Saban coming back, I'm sure Ohio State's going to be favored again. They get their running back room, situated. They'll be right back in this. And a lot of teams that we've seen yesterday, today, most of those teams will probably be back around in this thing. Dante Moore, Oregon's going to be back. I'm sure I guess now this dang portal, who knows anymore. A lot of these teams, Miami may not. I don't think Indiana. I don't think you'll hear from them. They may get in a Big Ten championship game because their schedule's so easy. They may get in there and mix it up. Willingham at Michigan, if he puts together a good staff, that Underwood's a good quarterback, man. They can put some defense on the field. Michigan had a little bit of trouble on defense the other day there. Texas played a good game, and they had 11 guys out. They had like 6 starters not playing at Texas. So, again, there's another team. Texas be back in it. So a lot of these teams you're seeing, if you're tired of seeing it, this is probably going to be Alabama will be breaking in a new quarterback. I don't love that. It's like every year if you're breaking in a new quarterback. Man, I mean, how many times breaking in a new quarterback with no starts nowhere else wins it? I'll just go look at the guys that played. I mean, JJ had stayed and played a year or two there. Ohio State has a kid that comes in, stays, and had played. They had got, and it's usually a second-year quarterback, So that worries me a little bit, but I don't – and there's people on the fire Womack train. People are Alabama fans just crazy shit, man. I'm 48 years old. I've heard it all. Fire DeBoer, fire Grubb, fire Womack. His crappy South Alabama, whatever, defense they handled everybody. They lost the number one team. What are they supposed to do? You're not supposed to win that game. Now, I know you don't like how they lost, and that's the thing. That 38-3, that is not how you would like to say, at least they come in and swing punches and they lose, 28-21. You feel like, well, just missed out today. It's just freaking belt ass. So, anyway, let's get off here and go watch. Miami, Ben says, is favored now to win it all this year. And they have the most experienced players. Their offense, defensive line is senior loaded. Their quarterback has played a lot of football. They got speed. They can play up front. You're talking about old Shotgun Williams? God, he was freaking huge. He was like 6'6", fucking 260 pounds. Whew. God, he was a big old dude, man. He was. Cardale Jones. Shout out 12 gauge. He's a sports announcer on I think he's with CBS Sports. God, he was a big old man, I tell you, that dude, man, he was heavy in the legs. You couldn't get him down. I mean, they'd grab him around the waist and he'd just sling people off. And of course we didn't know at the time about Ezekiel Elliott. He just freaking rocket sledded through Alabama that game. Man, he turned out to be a pretty good tailback. I don't know. You don't hear nothing from him now. He's kind of crazy. He become a millionaire and lost his mind. So, Bama gets boat race first time since the VTech game when I was about 10. So this is real belt to ass, and it's a real wake-up call, I would think, for the board to sit down, think about the loss here for a little bit. You get up in the morning, have your coffee, take a day off, and Saturday, it's time to get back at it and time to figure out what you want to do with your staff for 26 for Alabama. And some of these fly-by-night teams, they're going to run in here and they're going to get in the playoffs and win some games that they can pull in from their small schools. That he brings in a lot of their own players. That's a new thing now, man. We're just not used to seeing that. You used to seeing the guys carrying the sword and the crown like Alabama that's, won it so much. Guys, they ain't won a championship since 2020. Okay? They're not running the SEC. It's Georgia. They're the pack leaders. They're running the conference right now. It's Kirby. And that's just the way it is. So, congrats again to Indiana, Coach Sig and the bunch for putting belt to ass to Bama and showing them how to play football, how to block, and how to tackle. That's the way it's done. We'll catch you guys Sunday.